welcome to our tutorial video, guiding you through setting up your Ackcio Beam Gateway. We'll guide you through the step-by-step process of setting up your Ackcio Beam Gateway, so you can start collecting and analyzing your data quickly and easily. Whether you're new to Ackcio or already familiar with the platform, this tutorial is designed to help you get up and running in no time. We'll cover everything you need to know, from setting up your gateway and connecting to its network, to creating a project you can view on your dashboard. So, if you're ready to take control of your sensor data and gain valuable insights into your operations, let's dive in and get started. We'll start by installing the bracket. This allows you to mount your gateway on a pole or wall. First, remove the lid from your gateway by removing the 4 screws. Once the lid is removed, you can see the holes used to attach the bracket to your gateway. Using the longer screws and the nuts in the plastic bag you received with your gateway, attach the bracket. Ensure your gateway is aligned properly and tighten the screws to secure the gateway to the bracket. Next, attach the antenna mount. Line up the antenna mount and attach it to the bracket using the 2 smaller screws from the same plastic bag. Next, we will attach our antenna to the antenna mount. Remove the plastic protector piece from the threads of the antenna, then remove the nut and washer. Slide the threads of the antenna through the hole on the end of the antenna mount. Then secure the antenna using the washer and nut. Once the antenna is secured, we can attach the antenna cable. Ensure you are connecting the antenna cable to the adapter marked RF. Now that our gateway is attached to the bracket, let's power it up. Connect your external power pigtail by passing the wires through the port at the bottom of your gateway. Connect the red wire to the 12-volt terminal. Then, connect the black wire to the GND terminal. Give each wire a gentle tug after tightening them to make sure they're installed correctly. Next, we can install the backup battery. This battery is meant to be used as an emergency backup only. Please remember that external power is required for the full functionality of your gateway. Install the battery into the battery holder, ensuring you've got the polarity correct. Now, we're ready to power up our gateway. Grab your power adapter and the adapter for your region. And plug your cable in. Once plugged into power, go ahead and turn your gateway on. Within about a minute to 90 seconds, you should see the WF light turn on and remain lit. This indicates that the gateway has completed its boot up sequence and you may now connect to its Wi-Fi network. Now that your gateway is powered up and ready to go, let's connect to its Wi-Fi network. Open your computer network settings and look for a network called Ackcio Beam followed by the 4-digit device ID of your gateway. Select this network. To connect to it, enter the password admin, all one word, all lowercase. If you're having a hard time staying connected to the Wi-Fi network, you may need to forget your existing networks. Once you've connected to the Wi-Fi network, open up a web browser and type the following address into your URL bar: 192.168.0.10. Then press enter. You will now be directed to the login page for your gateway's dashboard. To log in, enter the default username admin and the default password admin. Then click login. Now that you've logged into your gateway's dashboard, let's get it set up to work properly in your region. To do this, there are a few settings we'll need to update. To get to the settings page of your gateway, click the gear icon in the top right of your screen. Once you've arrived at the settings page, we'll get started by checking your date settings. Click the 3 horizontal dots in the top right of the date panel to open up your date setting. Next, choose your time zone from the drop-down menu. Once you've selected your time zone, you can modify your date format if you would like. You can also choose to configure a network time protocol server by entering the URL of the server you would like to use. Once you are happy with your date settings, click the Save button. Next, we'll update your gateway's radio settings by opening up the radio panel. These radio settings are very important because they ensure that your gateway is operating in compliance with all local regulations. Select your country from the drop-down menu. I'm setting this particular gateway up in Canada. The network size field indicates the maximum number of nodes you will have in your network. By default, this is set to our maximum of 50 nodes per gateway. The radio power will automatically be set to the highest power allowable in the country you've selected. Below the power drop-down, you'll see a field marked key. This is the key used to authenticate the connection between your gateway and nodes, ensuring nothing from outside the network can get in. When ready, click the Save button to save your radio settings. You will be prompted that changing the radio settings would require you to recommission any previously commissioned nodes, as they would still be operating on the previous radio settings. This is very important to remember, so please make sure that you always set your radio settings before commissioning any nodes. Click OK to clear this prompt, and we'll be right back at the settings page. Next, we'll set up our internet settings by opening the Internet panel. Your gateway can connect to the internet via LAN, cellular connection, or Wi-Fi. To connect your gateway to the internet via LAN, simply plug in the LAN adapter you received with your gateway to the micro USB port in your gateway. Then connect your LAN cable to the adapter and your router. To connect to the internet using a SIM card, select Cellular. If you're unsure of your APN, you can enter your country into the APN search field, then browse the list of APNs from popular providers in that country. If you already know your APN, you can enter it here in the APN field, followed by the username and password if applicable. Below your APN information, you'll see a checkbox labeled Enable Internet Always. When this box is unchecked, your gateway will only connect to the cellular network to transmit data to your specified server. If you plan on having any sort of remote access, please ensure this box is checked. To connect your gateway to the internet via Wi-Fi, select the Wi-Fi Internet mode. Then, enter in the name and password of your Wi-Fi network, as you would to connect any other device. You can configure a static IP here if you would like. Once you are happy with your internet settings, click the Save button. When connecting to Wi-Fi, you will see a message letting you know that you will lose connection to the gateway if internet settings are changed. This is normal. Press OK to clear the prompt. Reconnect to your gateway's Wi-Fi once available. Then click the globe icon in the top of the Internet panel to perform an internet test. You'll see a green pop-up in the bottom left of your screen if successful. If you see a red pop-up, please recheck your internet settings and try again. The next step is to configure our upload mode. Click on the 3 horizontal dots to open the Upload Mode panel. Your gateway can upload the data it collects to any API or FTP server. Users have the ability to choose which data is transmitted, with only the sensor data being mandatory. To set your gateway up to transmit to one of our integrated software partners, select API, then choose the software you wish to use from the Integration drop-down menu. To transmit to any other API server, simply enter its URL into the URL field. Then select the appropriate authorization method from the Authorization drop-down. To set your gateway up to transmit to an FTP server, choose FTP. Then enter the URL of your server into the URL field. Ensure that you've selected the correct encryption and port. Then enter your username and password. Finally, specify the folder path, and you're good to go. Below, you'll notice a checkbox labeled Enable New File Creation. When this box is checked, a new file will be created on your server for each data transmission. If left unchecked, a file will be created the first time your gateway sends data, then appended with each subsequent transmission. In some cases, users may not want to use either an FTP or API server. In this case, they can simply select neither option. The data is all still collected by the gateway, but would need to be manually exported either on-site or through a remote connection. Once your upload settings are good, go ahead and click the Save button. Lastly, we'll check to make sure the software or Snape version and firmware or mesh version of our gateway are up to date. Scroll down and open up the version panel in the bottom right of your screen. From the version panel, we have the option to update the Snape or mesh versions in either online or offline mode. In offline mode, simply choose either Snape or mesh depending on which one you want to update. Then, click inside the Installer File field and select the file which would have been sent to you by your Ackcio support representative. Next, click the Download and Install button and your gateway will be updated. For this video, we'll run through the process of updating in online mode, so let's toggle the button back over to online. First, we'll check to see if there is an update for our mesh version by selecting Mesh. Then clicking the refresh icon next to the Installer File field. If an update is available, you will see an exclamation mark icon pop up. Click this icon to view the change log for the latest firmware version. When ready, click the Download and Install button and your gateway will download the latest firmware file to complete the update. Once complete, you will see a green pop-up in the bottom left indicating that the mesh version has been updated successfully. Now that our mesh version is updated, let's go ahead and update the Snape version by selecting Snape, then clicking the refresh icon next to the installer file field. Once again, we can click the exclamation mark to learn what is new in this update. Then proceed by clicking the Download and Install button. Your gateway will now download the latest Snape file from the cloud and proceed with the update. This process generally takes 5 to 10 minutes, but can take longer depending on your internet connection. We've sped up the process here in this video to save some time. If successful, you'll see a green pop-up in the bottom left before being returned to the gateway's login page. Go ahead and log back in. Then head back over to the settings page so that we can take a look at the version panel and verify that the update was successful. Here we can see that both the Snape and mesh version numbers of this gateway have been updated. Click the Ackcio logo in the top left to return to the main dashboard. Now your gateway is set up and you are ready to create a project. The project is the home for all of the data you're collecting. Here you'll be able to view the status of all of your nodes, adjust sampling rates, and even view recent sensor reading. Press the plus icon in the Projects panel to create a project. On the next page, you'll need to enter a name for your project. Verify the start date. Designate a client. And specify the location of your gateway. Since our gateway is connected to the internet, we can easily set our location by clicking the pencil icon in the location field, then dragging and dropping the icon on the map to the actual location of your gateway. This location is used to help populate the map you'll see on your gateway's dashboard, so try to be as accurate as possible. When you're satisfied with your gateway's location, click the Save button to close the location window. The node list will show any nodes that have been previously commissioned with this gateway. If you're setting up your gateway for the first time, do not be alarmed if this list is empty. Tap the Next button at the bottom of the page to continue. On the Nodes and Sensor page, tap the Setup button. This will complete the process of creating your project and return you to the main page. Now, you should see the name of your project listed in the Projects panel. Click on your project to see the map update. This will zoom the map in onto your gateway. Once nodes have been commissioned, you will be able to use this map to see exactly how your mesh network is forming and which paths your data is taking to get back to the gateway. Congratulations, your gateway is set up and you're ready to start commissioning nodes. This concludes our gateway setup tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at support@ackcio.com. Thanks for stopping by.